Hi, thank you for coming into our kitchen with Cooking with the Sisters.
Hello.
I'm Chef Loretta and this is Chef Priscilla, but we call her Chef P. Now, Miss Chef P, how did we get started?
Well, I have a passion for cooking. And me and my daddy were sitting down talking one day. He said, "You love it so much, go out there and go to school." And I said, "Daddy, I'm 52 years old. I can't do it." He said, "Yes, you can." And because of his determination and his belief in me and my belief in myself, I went back to school at the age of 50. Graduated at the age of 59 and been working in this field. I'm 67. So it's never too late. Everybody, it's never too late to go out there and work on your passion, on what you love to do. Because Colonel Sanders, he became a millionaire at the age of 60. So if he can do it, I know I can do it.
Life does not stop at 60 because you retired from the job that you really didn't want. We went out and made a business because our dad told us to take your hobby and make it into reality. And that's just what we did. We came up with Sistas-Sweet, gourmet food and catering. And we've been there, we started the business 2021 and been working it ever since. And our business, our catering business, is not like any other catering business. We don't have fixed menu. We let our clients and our customer tell them what they want exactly for their event. Matter of fact, it's tailor-made for their event. So just like a tailor-made suit is made for that one person, our cooking is tailor-made for that one event. We don't just serve up food, we serve up memories. Today, we'll be cooking the starter.
The starter would be a grilled Caesar salad with a grilled baguette. And then for our entree, we have Hasselback potato, which are potatoes slightly sliced, and then with a herb butter, and then a grilled flank steak cooked just to perfection.
And for dessert, we have Sister Azzy butter pound cake with caramel glaze. So sit back and relax and watch us cook. We'll be right back. We're going to start with this butter pound cake, and it's Sister Azzy butter pound cake recipe. We got the flour, 3 cups of flour, 3 cups of sugar, 6 eggs, 3 sticks of butter, not margarine, butter, and a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring, and a cup of sour cream. So let's get baking, Chef.
Yes, ma'am. What you need first?
I need the butter first. Make sure the butter is softened, room temperature. And we're going to put the butter in the mixer. And there's a trick about mixing your cake. And I'm going to tell you the trick. Your butter should be fluffy your butter, sugar, and sour cream should be fluffy before you put in your flour. Now we mix this up maybe a good 3 to 5 minutes so it can get real fluffy. And when it's softened, it'll get fluffier even quicker. Now we throw in our sour cream, which is a cup of sour cream. let's brush the sides so we can get it good and mixed up in there. And you mix this up, the sugar and the butter, before you put up in the the butter and the sour cream before you put in the sugar. You look and see that's good and fluffy. So I'm gonna keep it going. Now we add in our sugar once the butter and the sour cream is fluffy. 3 cups of sugar. Thank you, Miss P.
You're welcome.
Answer about yeah.
Why do they call a pound cake a pound cake?
Well, Miss Chef P, I'm glad you asked that question. The reason they call this a pound cake, back in the 1700s, a lot of people was poor and they didn't know how to read. A lot of people didn't know how to read, so it was a pound of everything. A pound of flour, a pound of sugar, a pound of butter, and a pound of eggs. If you could do a pound of eggs, it was a pound of eggs. So this is why they call it a pound cake. And actually, when they actually cook it, it weighed almost like 4 pounds. But as the time moved on, we kind of cut it and condensed it so we don't use a pound of butter and a pound of sugar and a pound of flour. But that is the reason why I call it a pound cake, because people really couldn't read, and so they made it just as simple as they could for people to cook. Glad, good question. So now you scrape the sides of your bowl, and you're gonna add your eggs, but do it one at a time. And I tell you, you want to mix it up one at a time. Count 20 seconds before you do it. And we're going to alternate with eggs and flour. We're going to alternate that. I do 2 eggs and then flour. And you want your eggs to really get mixed up into the cake batter. That's been about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You add your next egg. Then we're going to alternate with the flour, and we're going to go back and forth. Now when you put in your flour, I like to turn it off because the flour goes everywhere. And you put in about a cup of flour. Put it on slow. See, if you don't put it on slow, that's what's happened. Put it on slow. Then you put it on high to blend it all in. Then you go back to your eggs. 2 more eggs, one at a time. your last set of eggs. Thank you, Chef Pete. We want to scrape the sides because we're adding in our last cup of flour. You stir your flour up some so you don't want it to fly everywhere when you turn on your mixer. But turn it on low and be sure you scrape the bottom. Make sure you scrape the bottom of your pan. So you want to incorporate all the ingredients in the mixture. And it's good to, when you mixing, don't overmix. Do not overmix. So you just want it, just make sure it's mixed. The mix is incorporated just as well, but don't overmix. You mix it up about 1.5 minutes to make sure it's surely mixed. Before you turn it off, you put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now we are ready to put this delicious cake into a bowl, to the butt pan. Oh, don't that look good? We'll scrape this off. We want all our cake batter in the pan. What I do, I give it a swirl so it could be even up. Throw some cake batter in there and swirl it around. You want to scrape all your cake batter out of there. Then we want to spread it around, get it good and even. You ever have a lopsided cake? I made plenty of them. I try to cover it up with icing to even it out. Get your air pockets out of the cake. You just drop it some. Shake it so it can be even. Most people put their cake in a pan of water and then put it in the oven so the top won't burn. But I just put it on a good old-fashioned cookie sheet. And you want to put your oven temperature to 325 and cook it for 1 hour and 20 minutes. But 1 hour and 10 or 1 hour and 15 minutes, you want to look at it to make sure it's burned. So we'll be right back. Make sure it won't burn. So we'll be right back. We'll be right back in just a minute. Welcome back. Now, while our cake is in the oven cooking, we're gonna make our caramel sauce to put on the cake. And we start with cane sugar. Some people use brown sugar, but I like to go old school with just simple cane sugar. You can do the dry method or the wet method. The dry method, you don't have to worry about crystallization. You just good and go. But the wet method, you put 1/4 of water in there. And I'm gonna do it halfway. The wet method, it doesn't take as long to cook, but you got to watch out for crystallization. You want to start with a medium high, and you want to melt it all the way. You want to make sure all your sugar is wet. Just get it in there, wet it up, stir it around. Stir it around while it's melting. Now you want to melt it all the way. And once you melt it all the way, you turn your heat down. And we stir until it's melted all the way. And what you say, we gonna say, what's melted all the way? Let me tell you, when it's clear, it's melted all the way. See how it's a little cloudy? But you want it melted all the way. If you're not a real good cook with the caramel sauce, you can use a non-stick pot to keep it from sticking. And it's a good cleanup also.
What if you just don't know how to make it? Can I just buy caramel sauce?
Yes, if you don't know how to make it, go to your local grocery store and just buy your caramel sauce and just squeeze it on the cake. But if you want it homemade, just to go with your homemade Sister Azzy butter pound cake, you stand here in the kitchen and you make your homemade sauce. Turn it up a little bit more. And this takes about 8 minutes to get it fully melted all the way to a clear liquid. Or if you don't want to do that, put you some powdered sugar on there and just go on with your cake. Or buy some icing, melt it a little bit and pour it on there. We see it's bubbling up. And you want to constantly stir so it won't burn. It's almost there. And we'll be right back. Welcome back. As you see, our sugar is all melted, it turned liquid, and at that point you stop stirring, but you swirl it in the pan and give it a good amber color. Now I'm gonna keep it this color right here, and once we get an amber color, you drop in, you're gonna cut up your butter, 6 pads of butter, and you're gonna drop it in one at a time. Make sure it's melted, one at a time. Turn the heat down a little, and you want to make sure that butter is melted before you drop in the next pad of butter. This is a good homemade, easy homemade caramel sauce. All you need is sugar, butter, heavy cream, and vanilla extract. And if you like salted caramel, you put a little pinch of kosher salt or sea salt in your caramel. Give it that little salty taste. But today we're just gonna make straight, easy caramel sauce. No salt. Because a lot of us cannot do salt. Now I like a light caramel sauce color, but if you want your caramel sauce to be a little darker, then you could leave it on, but do not burn your sugar. Don't walk away and don't burn it. And when your sugar is cooking, make sure you brush down the sides so it won't caramelize.
You mean crystallize?
Crystalline, I'm sorry, it won't crystallize. Thank you, Chef P. It won't crystallize. Now, once your butter melt, you want to take it off the stove. Now the butter melt, so you want to take it off the stove. I'm gonna put it over here.
Right.
And while I'm still stirring, I'm going to slowly add the heavy cream. It is a half a cup of heavy cream. You want to slowly add it. But still stir or use a whisk to whisk it up. But you want to still stir it and slowly, because this will overflow if you do it real fast. So you want to slowly do it. Hand me the vanilla extract, and you won't put vanilla extract in there to give it a little vanilla flavor.
You should always put it in at the end, because if you don't, you will cook the flavor out.
Say that again, Mrs. Chef P.
You always want to put your vanilla extract at the end, because if you don't, you will cook the flavor out.
All right, she said put it in at the end, because if you don't, you will cook all the flavor out. Now we're gonna move it over here, and we're gonna pour our sauce. I use a mason jar to let it cool. And we're gonna let that cool while our cake is still cooking.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Okay, now we're back. Hi, my name is Priscilla, Chef Priscilla they call me, or Chef P. My menu today is going to be a grilled Caesar salad, grilled herb flank steak, and a Hasselback grilled garter bugger potato. I'm gonna make you say that. The first thing you need to do is, before you do anything else, go ahead and prep your potatoes, prep your flank steak. Get it marinated so it can sit there and sit on the back counter and start getting marinated. And I'm marinated, we start off with chopped rosemary. I use rosemary, thyme, and parsley. And just take your parsley, take it off the leaves. Roll up and then just, with a sharp knife, just chop it up. Put a little olive oil in it, salt, pepper, lemon zest, and the zest of the lemon and lemon juice. And then you just add everything into your thing. marinate your steak. Let it marinate and just put it on the back counter, out of the way. That's all you need. Now we're gonna work on the potatoes. They call Hasselback potatoes. And the reason they call Hasselback potatoes is because they're cut, but they're not cut all the way. If you're not able to do it out there, I cut and I'm not going all the way down. I'm able to cut like that. See what happened? I accidentally cut one of the potato part, but that's okay. There's a way you can do it. You can get two, if you got two, like two rulers or something, you could put two rulers together, and then once you go down, you'll be able to cut it without going through it. I'm able to do it without it, so to save time. Then the same herbs that you use for your steak, you put it with some butter, mix it with some butter. You just take your potato and just slather the butter all over the potato, inside, on the outside. Then you can put that, Loretta, if you don't mind, can you put that in a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes. Then you want to start working on everything else, your rest of the stuff. Now we're going to work on our romaine lettuce, making a Caesar salad. Most people do Caesar salad, they don't grill it, but we're going to do something different. You're going to take your Caesar salad and cut it in half, but leave the core on, leave it intact, leave it whole. Leave your core on just like that. Let's take a, we'll be back for a minute. We're back, okay. Get our pan ready. You can use a grill pan or a cast iron would do if you don't have a grill pan. Don't run out and buy a grill pan if you don't have it. It's not that important. Okay. For our baguette, we're going to cut our baguette on the bias. If you have a bread knife, prefer to use a bread knife instead of a chef knife. But
what's a bread knife?
It's serrated. Your knife has a serrated edge on it. Take your bread and just put the cut side down and get some crust, get some get a little toasted. And while that's toasting, take your olive oil and just lightly pour a little on your romaine lettuce. And let them kiss each other. That's nice. That's all you need. Just on one side. Take your romaine lettuce and then just put it in the pan and just want it in there for about a minute, no more. You're not really cooking it, you just sort of putting a nice grill mark, a nice marks on them. Like that. That's good. See where my bread is. You're gonna take some garlic, smash it, take the skin off. You need to wash your bread. You don't want your bread to burn. Once your baguette get toasted, just take the garlic and just lightly rub the garlic in the bread. It would make the garlic sort of melt. It would melt the garlic out where it would be so strong. Ain't nothing worse than strong breath garlic. Let's take a break. We're back. Okay. I'm going to show you how to plate your romaine salad. I usually just go ahead, the Caesar salad, I'm sorry, Caesar salad. Just plate your grilled salad on a plate. You can either make your own Caesar salad, your Caesar dressing, or either buy a nice bottle of Caesar dressing, which is this is a good brand. A lemon Caesar salad dressing. You just pour a little Caesar dressing in a bowl. Take some peeling of the lemon. Make sure you don't get all the white, just as close to the yellow as you can. And chop it up in fine dice. Mix it with your dressing. And take your lemon, and if you cut it on the side, you will not get no peel, no seeds. And if you do, just take the seeds out, then just pour about a teaspoon of that in there. And you want to mix it up. And then you just want to lightly dress it. Say some forgiveness if somebody wants some more. Then take your Parmesan cheese. You can either grate it or you can slice it real thin. However you like it, you can break it off. The tip of the knife. And we're gonna serve our food family style. And family style, just put it on platters and let everybody help themselves to it. Take your bread and just now we want to work on our steak because our potato is still in the oven, and by the time our steak is done, our potato should be done too. We will be back in a minute. We're back. Now I'm going to show you how to grill a steak. Perfect steak. Now, in order for your steak to get cooked even, you want your steak to at least set at a room temperature from 45 to up to an hour so it can cook evenly. You won't have no cold spot here, too overcooked there. And the way to get a good sear on your steak is, you need to take your steak out. Never put a wet steak in a pan. All you're going to do is steam it. So you need to take it, dry it off real good. And since we had oil in here, you don't have to worry about oil in it or oil in your pan. But you want that steak to be dried off. Pat it dry with some paper towel or a clean cloth, either one. And you want to sort of get some of that garlic off, because once that garlic hit that pan, it will burn, and you do not want that on your food, burnt garlic. It'll be nothing but bitterness. You hear that sound? That's the sound you want to hear. If you don't hear that sound when you put your meat in there, take it out and let that pan get hot. Because all you're going to be doing is steaming your food. And there's nothing worse than steamed steak. Leave it in the pan, don't touch it, leave it alone for at least 4 minutes. Just let it sit there. Don't touch it. I know sometimes people won't sit there and start, and all you're doing is making it where it's not getting that sear on it. You want a good sear on your steak at all times. So you can push it down to make sure it has contact with the skillet, but other than that, leave it alone. Walk away. Go talk on the phone, do something, but don't mess with it. We're back. Okay. Our steak is cooking, and while our steak is cooking, you want your steak to rest. Never, ever, ever cut into any hot meat right out of the stove, because all you're going to do is let all the juice run all over the place. It's going to be a very dry steak. This seems like it might be more rare, but it depends on how you like your steak. I like my steak rare. So I'm going to take it out of the pan and just lay it on the cutting board and let it rest. Never let it rest in a hot pan, because all you're doing is still cooking it. Okay, I have taken my Hasselback potatoes out of the oven. And like I said, this is family style. You could have left it in a little container, or either just, I'm going to put it right there on the platter. Instead of garnish it with little onions. You want your steak to rest at least about 2 to 3 minutes before you cut into it. And when you cut your steak, you want to cut against the grain. And what's against the grain is, you want to, if you look at the meat, you see the meat is going this way. You don't want to cut that way. You want to cut against it. And the reason you do that, it makes it more tender. It will keep it tender. Like I said, if that's too raw for you, then like I said, cook it for maybe another 3 or 4 minutes. Just take it and just lay it on, then also dress it. You want to probably dress with that, some herbs or you got some parsley, dress it again. This is your Hasselback potatoes, a grilled Caesar salad with toasted baguette, and an herb marinated flank steak. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. And we had just taken our cake out of the oven. It's been an hour and 20 minutes, and look how it looks. Don't that look yummy? Now your caramel sauce that you set aside, you just pour it on there. Drizzle it, dunk it, take a spoon, and I just like to pour mine on there. Take it across, and this more is going to be mostly glazed. If you like more, pour more on there. If you like less, pour less on there. See how the glaze just went all over the cake plate? Now we're gonna cut into this. Let's cut into it. What do you say? Let's cut into this. Oh, that looks good. And what do you say? Sister Azzy butter pound cake. Doesn't that look delicious? And we'll be right back. Welcome back. This lovely lady here is Mother Kent. She's the matriarch of our business. If it wasn't for her and our dad, we wouldn't be here today. And we'd like to thank our sponsor, Highland Park Missionary Baptist Church in Louisville, Kentucky, 3700 Shanks Lane. And their vision is going out and impacting the community by bringing people to Jesus, building up their lives, making disciples, maturing the believers, and multiplying the ministries. And we also want to thank 94.5 The Blaze Internet Television. Join in and listen to the award-winning MC, radio host, the Praise Commander, TK, on spiritual knowledge and praise. Snap is her program, and she is giving out praise to the Lord. So tune in, download the app, 94.5 radio, and it's internet radio at its best. We want to thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you later at Cooking with the Sisters. Bye, everybody.